Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for attending this workshop. My name is Benito Lubazibwa. I'm the CEO of Remix Ideas. This is brought to you by Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab is a partnership between Central Arkansas Library System and Remix Ideas. The mission of Rocket Lab is to inspire, educate, and connect under-resourced entrepreneurs. We have designed this hub to promote entrepreneurship, and our focus, like I mentioned earlier, is under-resourced entrepreneurs. The location of Rocky Lab is on Central Arkansas Library System, main library downtown. All the services provided by Rocky Lab, they are free. We do events, workshops, and seminars like this one, one-on-one consultation, technical assistance. We help entrepreneurs to have access to capital, access to different opportunities in the market, in the ecosystem, and also access to mentors who are extremely important in order for business to succeed, especially in the early stage of businesses. So this is, again, it's a library system, continue to do what library has been done for many years, which is to democratize information. In this case, the library, in partnership with Remix Ideas, we are democratize entrepreneurship. So more people, they can have access to this path of creating wealth and economic mobility, which is ownership, entrepreneurship. So we at Remix Ideas, we are thankful for this partnership with the Central Arkansas Library. And the team of Arkansas Library is excellent. Aldo, thank you. Perry, thank you very much for what you're doing to make sure that we provide this service today. So the topic of today is business is personal. This is about credit workshop for entrepreneurs. And the speaker, we have a great speaker, Vida. She's a loan and credit officer at Southern Bancorp Community Partners. And just a brief introduction of Southern Bancorp Community Partner is a certified nonprofit community development financial institution, CDFI, that provides lending, financial development services, and public policy advocates in economically distressed communities. So we at Remix Ideas, we consider Southern Bancorp as our strategic partner. They have been supporting us from day one in many areas, in support, sponsor some of our events, provide education, which is much needed to our entrepreneurs. And if you are a startup, if you are just start a business, you understand that your personal credit is really important when you are going, especially at the beginning, to ask for loan, to access to capital. So I will not take much time. I want to welcome our speaker, Vida. Thank you very much for being here with us. And the audience is yours.
Okay, thank you all for having me. And like Benito said, I'm with Southern Bancorp Community Partners, and I am a loan and credit officer, meaning that I do loans, and then I also assist people with credit issues. So it's kind of not in the normal sense, like when you go to a financial institution, the loan officer cannot really assist you with credit. They'll pull your credit and they will say that, oh, unfortunately, we cannot give you the loan, without actually giving you the reason, the actual reason why your credit has been denied. In my case, it's a little different. I pull your credit, I try to do the loan, I see issues with your credit, and I'm able to, if you are willing, walk you through what you need to do to get there so that you can get the yes answer. So to start with, I want us to, everybody on the call, to give us a little bit insight about why you are here, okay? So I said, we are here to learn what it means to have good credit. So I need you all to use the charts if you are able to type in why you are here. And PJ, could you please let me know, because I cannot see it. When people start typing, I'm going to give you like just a few seconds, like 45 or 1 minute for everybody to type why you are here. Are we getting any responses?
Yes, we've got one from a question from Nicole Chandler to learn about what opportunities to share with families at school. And she's interested in offering a class.
Oh, great. Okay, so let's move on to just a short introduction of Southern Bancorp. So Southern Bancorp is a traditional financial institution. And then we have Southern Bancorp Community Partners, which is a loan fund, a CDFI. So a loan fund, the difference between a loan fund and a traditional financial institution is that a loan fund does not have deposit. We don't have our doors open where we take deposit and savings and cash checks. We don't do that. All we do is that we lend to small businesses and other people who are interested in either buying a home or, you know, all the other things that goes the same lending process that a traditional bank does, except we don't have the depository, so we don't do all of that. Now, we were founded in 1986. Right now, we have over 49 locations between Arkansas and Mississippi, and we have over 300 employees. And when I say we, I'm talking about the entire bank, because Southern Bancorp Community Partners is part of Southern Bancorp. So when I say we, that's what I mean. So that's just a short introduction. We are in little towns. I mean, if you've been to Mississippi, there's a little town like Lula. It's really, really small, but we have a bank there. So wherever the big banks kind of run away from, we try to go over there and kind of take care of the financial needs of the people. So we are considered a community, or we are a community development bank. And Southern Bancorp Bank has its own, you know, what we call the CDFI, all of that. So we do just the lending, and then we do some financial development stuff like what we are doing right now, credit. We do home ownership, we do home buyer education, and then you heard Benito talk about us doing policy also. So we use policy to make sure that our underserved communities are receiving what they need in terms of in the financial sector. So we talked about Southern Bancorp Community Partner. So what is credit? When we talk about credit, we say that credit is the ability to borrow money, tomorrow's money, to pay for something you get today. All right, so that's what credit is. A lot of people might think that it is kind of free money, you get it and you spend it and everything is fine. But actual fact, you are getting it and promising to pay the costs with interests and everything that comes with it. So in your own words, or in a few words, I want some of you to kind of type into the chat box, if you can, what do you think credit is? This is my definition, or this is the textbook definition of credit. So what do you think credit is to you? I'll give you a few, like 1 minute to do that also, if you don't mind. And PJ, could you please keep an eye on that for us?
Yes, I am.
Is anything coming through?
Yes, D. Campbell is money for now to pay more back later.
That's so true. Money for now, pay more later. Yep.
And Benito said credit is being about to get great interest rates when getting things you want and or need.
Okay. Okay, good. So you can see that the definition for credit is kind of different for everybody. But at the end of the day, it's all the same because you are going to pay it back with interest. So when we talk about credit, we have personal credit and we have business credit, right? Today we are going to kind of just talk about personal credit, and if we need to do like a full-fledged business credit, how does your business get credit outside of you? Just we can talk about that. But when it comes to personal credit, and I believe we are talking to sole proprietors mostly. If you're a sole proprietor, your credit, your personal credit, it's actually your business credit. All right. I had the same workshop or similar workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the same thing. And one of the questions that one of the participants asked was, if I want a business loan, would you pull my credit? Sure. And the answer is yes, because with a sole proprietor, your personal credit is intertwined with your business, because a sole proprietor, you are the business is you. So there's no difference. We don't differentiate between your credit and your business credit. But at some point, if we want to do like a full-fledged how to get a business credit for your business, we can talk about. So today we are just dealing with personal credit. So next, we're talking about why do we need credit? Okay, this is America. Everybody knows we need credit. Okay, I always use myself as an example because I came from another country. I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't understand credit because where I come from, cash is king. You have money, you go buy what you need. And it's, if you don't have it, you don't get it. You know, if you can go to the bank and borrow money, if you are a teacher, if you are a nurse, if you have like a real profession, you are able to go to bank and borrow because they know that, you know, you get paid every month. But most people don't have that luxury. So for me, credit was really, really new, but I got to really sit down and learn about it. And so that kind of helped me understand what this is. So we need credit, as you all know, if you're buying a house, getting a job, getting a phone service, you know, all these things, people ask for credit in some form of a way. So I want somebody to kind of type an answer in why somebody will want credit or will require credit from us when we are trying to get a phone service. Why? Can somebody help answer that? Okay, so the reason is for them to kind of see how you've been paying your debt, your other debt. Do you pay other people when you get stuff from them? Do you pay your credit card bill? You know, so it's kind of all intertwined. The same with qualifying for insurance. They pull credit, and sometimes people don't understand why we all have the same car, we all have the same income, and then your car insurance is lower than mine. The reason is that the credit is not good. So then we all have the same make and model, but then our insurance is different. The same income, but then the insurance rate is different. So that's one of the reasons. And somebody will ask, why do they need to get credit from me when I'm getting a job? I'm not working in a bank. I'm just trying to, you know, whatever the job is, a librarian, whatever, and they still want credit. And the answer to that is responsibility, right? If you are, they think that, or the employer believes that if you are responsible enough to take care of your financial situation, they look at your credit, there are no collections, everything is hunky-dory, then there's the possibility that you are going to take this job seriously. You know, you are going to be responsible for the position that you've applied for. So those are some of the reasons why they will want to look at your credit. Do we have any questions up to this point before I continue? If you have questions, please type it in the chat box for us.
Dee Campbell had said she believed it helps determine deposit.
It believes that's what?
She said that she believed it helped determine deposit.
It helped. Okay, that's very, very good. Yes, it also does. Like when you are getting a utility or a rent and the phone service is a utility, yes, it helps determines how much deposit they are going to take from you. So they look at it, they realize that you are paying all your bills, and sometimes they will be like, oh, we don't need a deposit from you. And sometimes it's like, oh, you need to put down whatever the deposit is. So yes, you are right, it does. Any other answer?
Yes, also to evaluate your financial responsibility and ability to pay monthly.
Correct. So that's also correct. All right. So the key word in there is responsibility, financial responsibility. The key word is responsibility. So if you are responsible with your finances, then you are going to take this job serious. You are going to take renting this place from me serious. You are going to make sure that your rent is paid on time. You are going to make sure that the phone bill is paid on time. So yes, that's correct. Any other questions coming through or contributions coming through? Okay, great. That's very good. So what makes us say that there's good versus bad credit, right? So it all boils down to paying your bills on time. When it comes to good credit, that's all we are talking about. Reliability in paying bills. You know, if once again, the word R has come again. We looked at the word responsibility came first. Now we have the word R, reliability. Can we rely on you? Can the creditor rely on you to pay your debts or to pay your bills on time? You know, when you do that, then companies are more liable, or they are more willing to, not liable, but willing to extend credit to you anytime you ask for it, so far as, you know, your income and stuff is in good shape and you can afford it. So reliability and willingness for companies to extend credit to you, that is what good credit is all about, right? And then we have the bad credit. Okay, you were going to say something.
Yes, Vida, sorry, just a minute. Benito wanted to ask if you could take a minute to talk about business credit as well.
Okay. So I'll do a quick overview on that, and then hopefully that's what it is, or that's what he wants to hear. So business credit is if you are seeking credit for your business, that is totally different from this credit that we are talking about, right? Because then you have to make sure that your business is registered or formed differently. Okay, so you have been able to done article of incorporation at your state's Secretary of State's office. You've been able to do that. You have your article. So basically the business is totally separate from you. So we are talking about like LLC. If it's an LLC, it's a kind of I'm saying person in quotes of itself. So for you to gain business credit for your business, the business will have to be separate from you. It will have to have been formed differently. It has an EIN number, articles of incorporated, operating agreements, all of those things. And initially when we talked about this credit, that is what I was going to do really. I thought, we can do business credit because we are talking to business people. And then it moved into personal credit, so that's fine. So there are a couple of entities who does business credit. And one of them is Experian. Experian, if you go to, I think it's experian.com/business. So they do business credit, and then you will be able to kind of tell what they want you to do in order for you to have a business credit. And then there is Dance and Bradstreet, all right? Sometimes you hear it says DNB, and they are the other entity that offer business credit. So for them, of course, you have to have your EIN number, and then they give you a dance number. You apply for a dance number, and they start establishing credit for you. So for that even to happen, or after that, you want to make sure that the people the vendors that you deal with, the people that you buy your supplies from, report to these two entities, Experian Business and Dance and Bradstreet. So you cannot just buy from anybody. If you want to build business credit, you want to make sure that the people that you buy from are going to report that business credit. Your vendors are going to report that, and they also have a different way of scoring it. I think it's from 1 to 10. That's how they score it. So if you are a 6, then you are good. I think the higher it is, the more riskier. I'm not sure. I've not looked at it well, but so that is another way of getting a business credit. You have to have formed your business, either LLC, S Corp, C Corp, non-profit, before you can actually get a business credit. You cannot get a business credit as a sole proprietor, so far as I know. You cannot do that because they demand all this stuff from the Secretary of State's office and stuff like that. Does that answer your question?
We did have another question from Nicole Chandler. She wants to know, how do you explain to a potential employer the reason your credit is poor is due to student loans? Specifically, your income doesn't allow you to make payments. She said she knew someone denied a job and student loans were an issue.
Okay, so student loans are always an issue to, I think, all of us. Now, it only becomes a big issue when the student loan is in default, which means that the person was in a payment plan and they didn't pay. And that has to do with most or all debt. It's a problem when you default on the payment. So if the person has not defaulted, I really don't know why the employer will say that because of your student loan, we cannot hire you. But if it's in if it's in debt, if it's in default, then the employer can say that, what is your explanation for it being in default? The only explanation is that I didn't pay it. And this all boils down to communication, right? Even if it's in default and you couldn't pay because you lost your job, you could have communicated with your student loan servicer. The person could have communicated with their student loan servicer to let them know that this is the issue I'm having right now. So, because there are other plans out there that they can put you in and stuff like that. So the only thing I can see, or I can comfortably say, is for an employer to deny employment because of student loan is that it was in default, the person was not paying on it at all. And then that would be, that would be a reason for anybody to deny credit, or to, in this case, employment.
Thank you.
Does that answer the question, Nicole? Okay.
Yes.
Great. So that question actually leads us into the bad credit area, right? Unreliability in paying bills. You abandon debt. You know it's your debt, but I don't want to deal with it. It will go away in 7 years. And we will talk about that in a bit. bills are paid late, believe it or not, you can have good credit by 1 minute. And I have an experience with this from one of my loan people. They didn't, my borrowers, they didn't pay their loan on time. They were late. And when we reported to the credit bureau, believe it or not, his credit went down 60 points from that late payment. All right. And that was like big. And for somebody who works with people, and this person, I work with him on his credit. So I was like really upset with him. Like, are you kidding me? So you can just imagine the magnitude of that. So not paying bills on time, abandoning them, paying whenever you want, can all lead to it's being considered bad credit. Bad credit is just like you see, debt are abandoned. There are a lot of late payments, there are a lot of collections, and of course, bankruptcy. All right. So those are all the things that fall into that bad credit realm.
Vida, Susan had a quick question about credit and personal credit. Is it necessary to open a business line of credit?
Is it necessary to open a business line of credit? Okay, so if you're a sole proprietor, once again, and you are trying to even do that, we will sell you. Yes, you can do that. Some financial institutions will allow you to have a business line of credit, but remember, it is linked to your personal credit. It's going to be linked to your personal credit. So everything is going to be reporting on your personal credit, even though it's a business line of credit or it's a business credit card. And I've pulled credits with that, where the person doesn't have a business credit, but they have a business line of credit with a bank. So when it reports late, it's reporting on your credit, your personal credit report. Because what the financial institution does is that they have you guarantee. So it's for your business, but I'm going to have you guarantee that line of credit. So you are using your personal credit to guarantee that business line of credit. So everything pushes onto your personal credit.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, but what about LLC? If somebody has LLC?
So if it's LLC and you have business credit, which means that you've gone to Dance and Bradstreet or Experian Business and you have your business credit, and the financial institution didn't ask you to guarantee as a personal, with your personal credit, then it will report on your business credit. But let me caution everybody, the financial institution, and I can include myself because I do loans, we love that personal credit because we want to put it all together, and normally people will value that personal credit more than anything. People who really want to do value the personal credit even more than the business credit, especially if it's not a huge business. All right. So most financial institutions will want you to guarantee, even if you have a business credit, once again, unless you are this big business or the financial institution doesn't have that in their policy, because, we work with policies and government accountability and all of that nice stuff. So we have to abide by certain things. Some of them are in-house policies and some of them are something pushed onto us by the federal or the state entity that we are in. So if your financial institution doesn't require that you come in with your personal credit, with personal guarantee, then all that information will be reported onto your business credit if you have established one. Does that help, Benito?
Yes.
Okay. So next, how can I get a credit? All right, so that's what we are talking about next. How do I get a credit? This is my list. ask a local company, find a co-signer, get a secure credit card, see if your financial offers credit, build a CD, and all of that. So what do you all think? Can somebody outside of this list, what do you think, how can one get credit? In the chat box, please.
While they're doing that, Susan also had another question about explaining what exactly is Dun & Bradstreet, and is there a benefit to registering with Dun & Bradstreet?
Okay, Susan, great question. So I'll take my professional hats off and put my personal hat on. I have a small business. Okay, I have a workforce training school. So I registered with Dun & Bradstreet. First, it gives you credibility, some form of credibility for your business. And then it also allows you to, okay, so for me to go into a little bit of detail. So I'm going to put back my professional hat on. So like as a loan fund, sometimes we get money from the federal or the state government that says, we are going to loan you this money. We are going to loan Southern Bangkok community partners this money at this interest rate. And we want you to turn around and loan this money to small businesses. But for them to be able to have access to this federal or state money that you are going to give them, they have to have a Bradstreet number. Okay, so if you are a small business and you are looking to borrow from not really a traditional bank, but for a loan from a loan fund like that from us, which we are really becoming big. There are a lot of loan funds out there, so you can easily find one of those. That is a requirement for you to get that money that the federal government gave me to loan out. And then if you're a nonprofit, to get federal or state grants, stuff like that, you have to have those Dun & Bradstreet numbers. Those Dun & Bradstreet, there is SAMS, that's a federal system. You have to be in that and all of that. So basically the benefit is that you are able to access a lot more than your financial institution if you have Dun & Bradstreet's number. Does that help?
That was a great explanation. Nicole also had a quick question about having someone add you to their credit card account, and I think that plays into what's called credit seasoning. I don't know if you can have a minute to talk about that.
Okay, so that really, Nicole, thank you for that question. That really falls under this slide. How can I get credit, right? So how do you establish a credit? One of the things we said is ask a local company. You go to, if there's a Walmart or a Stage or some sort of a department store in your local area, you see if they will be able to extend credit to you. And then there's the find a co-signer. There's a find a co-signer, which means that I'm going to get a credit. I know I don't really qualify, but my sister or my husband has a good credit, so they will co-sign for me. And then Nicole talks about the authorized user, right? So I actually encourage parents, especially parents whose children are kind of getting to 18 and 19 like that, to help them build credit, to just add them onto your if you already have a credit, say a credit card, you add them onto that as authorized user. So what that is that anytime you as the parent spend and you pay, it goes to that person's credit also. All right. So even though I say put them on your credit as an authorized user, I'm not asking you to give them a credit card. A credit card will come in their name if you do that, but do you want to give it to them when you are going to be the one paying for it? So that helps build the credit for the other person, the authorized users person. So if you pay, they get a benefit. If you are late, they get the effect. So it will have to be done with a lot of caution and thinking, But I do encourage, especially parents who have children that they want to build credit for. If you have good credit, just do a co-signing. You just call the credit card company, you are the primary user, and then they will put the person on there as an authorized user. And once again, whenever you pay, they get the benefits of that on their credit. And that's a great way of helping young people build credit.
If that's not something that's commercially, that's not available within a family, are there not companies who actually provide it as a service where end consumers pay money to be put on an account for credit seasoning purposes?
I don't know anything about that, because when you talk about paying money, that is when I check out, right?
Okay.
Yeah, when you talk about, a company, they're asking you to pay money so they can put somebody on somebody, I check out right there, because I have no knowledge of that. And I will probably, it's a good thing for me to research and find out. This is the first time I'm actually hearing something like that.
It's kind of a gray market area, but I wanted to ask since we're on the topic, so thank you.
No problem. And then we have people securing credit cards, right? Some financial institutions have a credit card. It's kind of like a debit card. Oh, no, not a debit card. It's kind of like a prepaid card. I guess a prepaid card is a debit card. No, it's not. So it's kind of like a prepaid card where you put the money on the credit card. It's your money. You put, say, $200 on it. It's your money. You use it, but you still have to pay for it. So you use it, they send you a bill for the money that you put on the card and used. You still have to pay for it, because the payment is what they are going to be reporting to the credit bureau. So sometimes after a year or doing so, then they change you into the normal credit scheme. I remember Southern Bancorp, we used to have one of those. We don't have that anymore. We used to have the secure credit card way back then, where a lot of my people that I was working with credit used that to build their credit. So you put, $300 on it, you send them a $300 with your application, they send you a card, you swipe the card, they send you a bill. So, and all of this requires some education. You cannot just go to the website and pull something like that and not know how to use it, because at the end of the day, they are going to almost treat you like you are using their money. If you don't pay on time, they'll report late payments, right? Even though it's your own money. So it goes hand in hand with education. You cannot just go pick one up and start, oh, it's my money. I put $200 on this. So I'm going to the store and swipe $200. That is going to damage your credit. Or I'm not going to pay for it because it's my money. That is going to damage your credit. And then see if some financial institutions have what is called a credit builder CD product, okay? So, and I know we have it at our bank, and I use a whole lot of that for my people also, where we, depend on your credit score again. If your credit is below 500 and you don't have a whole lot of collections, definitely you don't have bankruptcy, because if you have bankruptcy, we will not do that. But you don't have a whole lot of collections, we will do credit builder CD for you. It is like $500. So we run a CD, we use the CD to secure the loan that we give you. So it's kind of like a back end or backward loan. You get the loan, but you don't actually get the money. You are going to walk out of the bank with no money, but payment plan. And you are going to be paying on this loan, because every time you pay, it's reported to the credit bureau. So it's only after you finish paying on this loan that you never got. After you finish paying on it, then you get the money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So by that time, your credit would have increased, because it's going to show on your credit that you had a loan with this bank. And then we call it that you save money, because the $500 you didn't get before, now you are getting it. So it's it's all good. And I've had a lot of people do that, and some people do it multiple times to kind of build their credit. So that's another product. So you have to check with your financial institution if they offer that. How do you get credit? If you already have credit, we talked about paying all bills promptly. Don't bounce checks, because all those things are cost. They don't only cost you money, they cost you credit. And at the end of the day, credit equals money, right? Because the lower your credit score, the more you pay for things. All right. Your interest rate is high when your credit score is low, if they are even going to give it to you. If your credit score is high, your interest rate is low. So at the end of the day, you save money if you pay your bills on time and your credit score is high. Now your interest rate is going to be low. So you have to think about credit as another saving money tool. So somebody mentioned about being denied credit, in this case, employment, because of debt. So it could be that it was too much debt. I don't know what, unless the employer feels like, well, I cannot pay you enough for you to pay on this student loan, so I'm not going to hire you. But that's kind of really far out there. But why is credit denied? No credit history at all. All right. And that is why I like the way we do stuff. It's like, okay, you don't have a credit history, but we are going to help you build one, either through the Credit Builder CD, well, especially through the Credit Builder CD product that we get. So if you don't have a credit score at all, within 9 to 12 months, if you do this, your credit score will be probably 600. And I've seen 600. That's why I said 600. So that is one way of being denied credit. Too much outstanding debt, especially when you are trying to go into home ownership or try to borrow for your business or for whatever reason. If you have too much credit, which means that you have 10 credit cards, they all have balances, and you are paying the bare minimum, the other lender or the other creditor looking at it is like, no, this is about to just go south real quick, so I don't want to be part of it. So then they will deny you credit because you have too much credit, outstanding credit. You can have all this credit, but have you been using them? If you don't have balances on them, then that doesn't count. But if you have a lot of balances on credit cards and other things, then that can be a reason for a lender, a creditor to deny you credit. Credit not handled responsibly in the past. Once again, it all boils down to abandoning debt, not paying bills on time. And when we talk about bills, we're talking about bills that you have with creditors, and then even your utility bills. Utility bills are very, very bad. Medical bills are one of those also, because you don't see them on your credit unless you don't pay it. Okay, they don't help you in any way when you are paying them. But as soon as you default on paying your phone bill, your internet, your cable, your medical bill, bam, it's on a credit. Then we have to deal with that. All right, so those are some of the things we really have to learn how to handle. And we have a staff of, I think now 5 people who does credit at Southern Bangkok Community Partners, and any of us will be able to assist you with that. Victim of fraud, even though that might not be your fault, are you really keeping an eye on all your stuff? Are you carrying all your social security cards with your credit cards and your driver's license everywhere you go? So then you are losing your purses, and when somebody finds it, your whole life, your whole DNA, and that's what I call credit. Your whole DNA is in your wallet and it's gone. So we have to kind of keep an eye on things like that to stop us from becoming victims. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. So,
Okay.
So we have some of the entrepreneurs here, they are looking for loan maybe between $50,000 to $100,000. If they come to you guys, which you are CDFI, what kind of credit score they need, and how are you going to make decision for them? Do you make decision based on the credit score or the credit history?
So all of it, right? All of it. And also income. Are they able to pay you back? Okay. So even though we are a loan fund, we are not a financial institution. And our case is even worse because we have to be self-sustaining based on the loans that we make, because we are not making money off CDs and, investment and all of that. So we have to make money off the proceeds from the loans we receive. So we go by, of course, the credit score we go by. We have personally, not personally, but we have like I would do a loan for somebody whose credit score is like 580, all right? Without any collections. If collections are there, they should be like little medical collections. I will probably I'll not take those into consideration because they are little medical stuff. I will look to see what your finances are in the last 3 years, what your tax return looks like. All right, because I have to be able to determine that you've been making a little bit or some money in the last 3 years. Do you have a collateral? Okay, so depending on how big the loan is, I need a collateral. I need to be able to secure that loan, just like any other financial institution. So yes, we look at the credit, the score, the history, with some big banks, they want this long history. If it's a good loan, I will look at, say, has this person been in does the person have like at least a 2-year history? I don't want a bankruptcy, just like the other person doesn't want. Now, if the bankruptcy is like 3 years old, I've even dealt with a 2-year-old bankruptcy. The financial institution, the big one, they want you to be 5 years or more. I'm a little bit more flexible. But once again, because I have to take into consideration all of that, the big financial institution, they have a black and white, right? It's like this, that, or no. We are like this, that. If you have this and that, we will probably say yes. So I have to do a little bit of digging. I always call it trying to learn about your business, how you operate, and also knowing the backstory, because the backstory is always good. We are not looking at just the black and white, what the person put on paper. I want to really sit down with you to figure out, what is this money for? How? So sometimes it takes a little bit longer because I have to try to make it work for you. I have to piece things together so I can be able to defend it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not just black and white. We have the black and white, and then for those people who come and they are straight black and white, that's fine. And then we have this would be a good loan, or however, let me look at 1, 2, and 3 and see if this will really be a good loan. And then we go like that. So we do a little bit more digging than just black and white and it's no.
Could you take a minute maybe and also talk about how with the current economic situation, evictions are becoming more and more common, unfortunately. How do evictions figure into this as well?
So I have no knowledge about that. Fortunately, or I would say, I don't know whether that's fortunately or I live in a small town, in Helena. And we have not seen, at least I have not heard a lot of eviction. I've not had people calling saying that, oh, I'm being evicted. So unless you are asking, how does eviction affect credit? Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it does if when you leave, you didn't take any pictures, you didn't get anything well documented, and I see a lot of that. And your landlord now files a judgment because they said you put a hole in the window or the door and the sink was leaking and there was a burn mark on the carpet somewhere. So then they end up filing a judgment against you. So yeah, that will affect your credit. So I always tell people that before you leave, make sure that everything is documented well, pictures and security deposit. And I mean, I've seen things where somebody's charging somebody for a bulb for like $100 for a bulb because you didn't do your work as a tenant. You didn't, when you were leaving, you didn't do that. Now, if you did, then you have proof, you know, paper no tell lie, paper don't lie. So if you have the proof to show that I did all of that, then we can go back and dispute what your landlord is saying. Now, there are cases, I've seen cases where they filed a judgment without notifying you that we want you to pay for this. You know, so you didn't get, they are supposed to give you a list of everything that should have been taken care of, or they are charging you for after the eviction or after you left for whatever reason, either it's through eviction or you left because you found a better place. They are supposed to send you a list of what they are charging you for. If you say you never received that, then normally I've asked people to go back to that old landlord and find out, you know, why do I have $2,800 on my credit of stuff that you say I owe you and I never received anything for it, or I never received any documentation on it. Now, if it's eviction, then, I mean, like eviction is eviction because you are not paying your rent, then that is definitely going to be hard to fight. You know, it's going to be on the credit report, you know. But if it's me moving to a different place and I didn't do my due diligence because I didn't do the walkthrough, I didn't take pictures and all of that, then there's two ways to it. You can either fight it, asking them to give you the information that they claim you owe, or just pay them. But if they evicted you, then probably I was not paying my rent and they evicted me. So yes, that will affect the credit. It will, yeah, especially with apartments. What do you call those management people, those people who manage apartment units and stuff like that. Yeah, they file judgments all the time. And that affects your credit.
Thank you.
No problem. So what is a credit report? It records your loans, credit cards, payments, and outstanding debt. Okay, and all of this is reported to the credit bureaus, the 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So, and sometimes one that is on, it kind of depends on the region. Sometimes who you got the credit from. Sometimes they report to one and not report to the other, you know. And then other times they report to all 3 credit bureaus. So let's see what is on our credit, right? So when you look at your credit, if you have not done that before, I encourage people to do that. The normal route is the annualcreditreport.com. It can be complicated, and I have a lot of people who use Credit Karma, which is much easier. But don't go to a loan officer and say, my credit score on Credit Karma says 700. So why is it that yours says 650? Yeah, there's a difference because it's all scored differently. So there's always a difference. So Credit Karma is good for a consumer to just know what is going on with their credit, deal with it. You know, it's kind of like an educational tool for the consumer. So it's a good place to start. I always tell people it's a good place to start. Annual credit report, the same. Except that with annual credit report, you don't get your score. You have to pay for the score. But Credit Karma, you are able to get a score, you know. But it will not match what a loan officer or what a bank is going to give you. So your credit report has your current and past payments information, on time and late payments are all there for the whole world to see, or anybody who requires it to see. outstanding credit limits and balances, information from public records. What is public record? Can somebody type in the chat what public record is? So we'll know that we are all on the same page.
Information that can be found by the public, taxes, something via Google search.
Okay. Anything else? So yeah, taxes, if you don't pay your taxes with the states, especially the states, either property taxes, real estate taxes, or individual taxes, they are quick to file a lien, and that will be in public record. They go to your courthouse. If you are in Pulaski County, they go to the Pulaski County Circuit Court. Is it Circuit Court or the other one? And file a judgment, and then it will be on your credit, not the Circuit Court, the other one. And it will be on your credit. Bankruptcy, that is a public record. It will, if you file for bankruptcy before, it's going to be on the credit. Great. So, and then you also find names of companies who have asked for a copy of your credit. Now, sometimes I get people who come in and like, well, this company is on my credit report. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for them to pull my credit. That's fine, because those are just companies trying to solicit. They want to see how your credit is so that they can send you, you know, all that solicitation we get in the mail, right? You get 200 of those. Even if you say do not send, they still send anyway. So those companies do not really affect your credit in any way. They just do not. Now, companies who affect your credit are those that you give authorization to. All right, so you go to the mall and then you see that lady set up and says, oh, this is Target. If you apply for a credit card today, you will save 20% on your purchases and get a t-shirt and a ball cap. And then you went ahead and signed up for it. They pull your credit. Now that is going to affect your credit, because you signed a piece of paper, gave authorization for them to pull it. You go to a bank, you want to get a loan, you fill all this paperwork, they pull your credit and they deny you the loan. It's going to affect your credit. All right. But the companies that are just trying to send you solicitation in the mail, those things don't affect your credit. Any questions on this?
No other questions have come in.
Okay. So next, who gets a copy of the credit report? Who gets a copy? You do. Only those who can prove a legitimate need, like the banks, the credit card companies, the landlord or real estate, and all these people, they have you fill a form. They have you fill authorization to release information before you before they pull your credit. Okay, apart from you who just pull it, you go to annual credit report or you go to Credit Karma and pull it. Everybody else that you fill forms for to pull are able to pull. We talked about those people who just solicit. They just don't have a whole lot of information. They are not getting the score itself. They are just getting the top of it. So they don't really get a whole lot. They don't really get a deep dive for them to really make an impact or effect on your credit. But anybody else who you fill forms for, like you see your landlords, and sometimes when we are kind of not desperate, but in need of stuff, we don't even ask questions. We just go ahead and fill the forms and then we question it later when it comes up. These are the details on your credit report, okay? Your personal information. There's no color, there's no race on the credit report. Just your name, your date of birth, your social security number, and employer. Some employers do pull credit, so those that pull, you see them on there. Your social security number, of course. Credit accounts, or what we call trade lines. So the company's name, the account number, date the account was open, when they were reviewed, all of that, the previous payment history, that is very, very important. It's all on the companies that requested your credit file inquiries, all right? So they inquire about you, they are on the public records, like we talked about, bankruptcy, judgments, past due, child support, property tax liens, they are all going to be on that credit report. And this tells you that the credit report is actually divided into these sessions: the personal information section, the accounts section or trade line, the company that requested the inquiry session, and then the public records. They are divided into 4 sessions. And then there's the last session that talks about your rights and, you know, consumer rights and all of that. But when you put your credit, this is what you see. They will not know whether you are a woman, a man, or whatever. All your phone numbers that you've ever used, are on there. All the addresses where you've ever lived, or addresses that you've ever used. Sometimes I live at my mother's house. No, I live in my house, but I use my mother's house as mailing address. It will be on there. And then I'm asking you, did you ever live at this address on Lone Oak Street? And you're like, no, I never lived there. My cousin lives there. Then my next question is, did you ever use that as a mailing address? Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so that's why it's on your credit report. So we talked about how to build credit. I know we talked about getting credit. This is building credit. You get a secure credit card. We talked about that. Get a credit building loan or products. Get a co-signer or become an authorized user on somebody's account. All right. If you are trying to buy a big ticket item like a house or something, I really don't encourage people to, especially if you are my client. I'm biased, right? If you are my client, I will tell you not to co-sign for anybody. But if somebody wants to co-sign for you, that's great, because you are going to be a good customer because you are seeing a credit counselor. So, you know, but don't go co-signing for just anybody for anything, because you have to think about it. If you co-sign for somebody, once again, the word R comes out, right? Responsible. If the person was not responsible enough to take care of their credit and you co-sign for them, what do you think is going to happen to your credit? All right. And I see a lot of those. I co-signed for my my niece a car, and Miss Vida, now I got to pay for it because, and she's not going to pay for it. You cannot do anything, you know. So be mindful of that. And there's the PowerPoint if you need it. PJ, do you have it? I email it to you. So you can share that information with everybody.
Yes, we'll be sharing that information on the website once we get it posted.
Okay, so you can share that. That's fine. How do we improve and repair? I know we are kind of out of time. If you want me to go on, I'll keep going on.
I say keep on going.
Okay,
Benito,
great.
what do you say?
Yeah, we are out of time, and because we have this presentation, we can be able to share with them.
Okay.
You can summarize, and then we can close then.
Okay, no problem. So yes, you have this information. Let me see if I maintain, take away one. Okay, so a few things I want us to take away from this is your credit history can affect your access to credit, you know, and all of that. Okay, understanding your rights helps you know how to protect your credit history. So learn a lot. Learn the right things though, because there are a lot of things out there that are not right. So make sure you learn the right thing. If you don't understand it, or if you feel like it's kind of a little iffy, just get with somebody, myself, or somebody that you think can help you understand it better. I consider myself a credit guru. I don't know why, but I'm just going to say that. So the next takeaway is you can take steps to improve and manage your credit score, you know, and all that means is paying on time and paying as agreed. Okay, paying on time and paying as agreed. You agreed, you sign a contract and you agree to pay, so pay it. Beware of credit repair scam. Remember, PJ, when I think you were the one who talked about somebody paying some money so that you be
credit seasoning. Yes, that's why I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask the expert.
Okay, so I don't know, that could be a little iffy when it comes to credit and people start taking money up front. I automatically hit the brakes. So credit reports, repair scams, be mindful of those. All right. I have people who come to me after they've gone to some of these law firms and have them take $80 or $180 a month from their credit, from their account, saying they are going to repair their credit. And after a year, when they come to me, it's the same thing. Okay, so you could have been using that $80 a month or 100 and whatever to pay your creditors. So be mindful, be on guard about this, because it is real. The struggle is real out there. Proceed with caution, okay? Debt consolidation, read about it, ask questions about it. There's difference between debt consolidation and there's the difference between debt settlements. So we do, I mean, personally, I help people do a lot of debt settlement, you know, especially if it's an old debt. I kind of walk them through how to do that. Sometimes at the end of the day, it saves you money. If you are trying to buy something tomorrow and you do that, it's not going to help you. So make sure that you have a plan ahead before you do any of that. Be mindful of that. Your credit does not have to be your credit history does not have to be your credit future. So make sure that you stay on that. I say that it's your DNA. I don't know what you say, but that's what I say, because without that, it's kind of hard to do anything. Get help. Southern Bancorp Community Partners is also a HUD certified agency. You know, we do housing counseling, and housing counseling, credit counseling is part of housing counseling, right? For you to get into home ownership, you have to understand your credit, you have to understand your money management skills and all of that. So that is one of the things that we also do at Southern Bancorp Community Partners. So get help, don't do it all alone. Resources, it's on the other slide that I just sent. There's a lot of resources on there that you can go, consumerfinances.gov, Balance Pro, different areas, different places that you can go, credit report companies, their phone number, and websites that you can go. So I would like to end here and kind of really thank you for this opportunity for us to share. I hope that we'll be able to do more of this another time. Two workshops that I've done, one was what your lender needs from you. That was a very, very good one. I think I had 2 sessions, and in total I had 67 people, small businesses who wanted to learn about that. Bookkeeping and record keeping, you know, if you're a business, you have to learn all of that. And then, of course, obtaining business credit. So this could be workshops that, if you're interested, Benito and PJ, just let me know and we'll work it out. But thank you so very much. And I hope everybody has a nice weekend, I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking your time. Great information. For sure, we're going to invite you again, and thank you, Southern Bangkok, for what you're doing in the community, especially to help communities. And we really appreciate. And for all the participants who attend today, we'll send you this PowerPoint presentation. We have your email address. If you allow us to send you the information, we'll be able to do it. So is that okay if somebody can say yes, or can you can send something yes? We'll send you the information so you can have it. But thank you for participating. I see everybody say yes, yes. So Perry, we need to send them that document. So they can be able.
We'll probably have to post it on the website. It's probably a little bit large. I haven't seen the size of it yet, but we do plan on making this wonderful presentation. And thank you so much, Vida, for your time. You were extremely engaging. It was really great content, and I thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you all for making this happen.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and have a wonderful day and have a wonderful week.
Okay.
Enjoy it.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.